So I was instructed to tell you guys that this one here has no clue what we're talking about before we start talking about it.
This is true. It's more fun that way. I always like to be either surprised or genuinely happy or genuinely pissed off because I don't know.
I don't know if you can really be surprised anymore with the way shit's been going here recently.
That's kind of true. You kind of feel it coming. Like you read something, you're like, yep, saw that one coming.
But on this channel, maybe we can get to a point in which you kind of know what to expect on this channel because it's been a little bit of a hodgepodge melting pot.
I'm a fan of hodgepodge melting pots.
Talking about YouTube, talking about relationships, talking about money, talking about making money, talking about losing money, talking about the housing market, Florida, Destin, whatever. What else I talk about? I don't forgot.
People you don't like.
Talk about, yeah. Whew. Yeah, there's one in particular. Man, I hate her. But anyway, I talked about last night going to try to get food. And that did not work out. And then trying to get fuel. That did not work out.
I don't know what the trying to get food was.
That was the link I sent you this morning to the video.
Oh. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it's always going to come down to money and the economy because we gotta stay focused on it.
Well, yeah, plus everything literally depends on money, and money depends on the economy. So everything kind of goes together.
So the CEO of Nike, his name is John Donahoe, and he says that breaking up with China would be disastrous amid rising geopolitical tensions.
Well, yeah, because most of their stuff is made in China.
I had no clue who the CEO of Nike was until today.
Well, I thought it was Ben Affleck, according to that movie, Air.
That was a good movie.
It was a very good movie.
It's a good movie.
And Matt Damon. I still have no clue why I say it that way. It's from Team America, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Puppet movie. What is that called? I call it the puppet
World
movie.
Police.
World Police. Yeah.
But I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned that I may not look at Nike the same way. Now, I said this before with like Target, and I asked you, I was like, are you going to stop shopping at Target? And you were like, no, this is Under Armour.
It's made in Malaysia. Does that change your mind?
I don't know.
Nothing is made here.
I don't know where Malaysia is. Is China in Malaysia?
No.
But anyway, it's like, you going to stop shopping at Target?
No.
Are you going to stop going to Starbucks?
No.
You going to stop buying Chick-fil-A? You going to stop going to Disney?
The Chick-fil-A thing, I think, is extremely ignorant, but we'll do that later.
So this is a tough one because Justin's sending me these text messages last night about these phone posits that he's trying to get and these 13 breads that he's trying to get, and I'm like, and then I'm watching Air and I'm like, yeah, Nike.
Well,
Just
you watch Air and you think they're making them right there in the factory where Broski put together that very first Air Jordan.
No, I never thought that. I never thought that. No spoilers. Don't give that away.
Okay.
Watch Air. It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie. But
then in order to watch Air, you got to have, is that Netflix or Amazon? It was Netflix.
I don't remember where we watched it, but was it Prime? I think it was Prime.
Yeah, it might have been Prime because Netflix is the woke one, right?
They're all. I mean, depending on who you talk to and depending on what their definition of woke is and depending on what triggers them the most, it's all woke. But if you're a Christian, nothing should be woke. It should just be love thy neighbor. That's a totally different topic.
I came across a story. We're not going to cover it on this one. But a funeral home director gunned down a pallbearer during a 10-year-old's funeral procession over a business dispute.
Oh, people today suck. That's really all I got for you.
But Nike could also be fined over $530 million for misclassifying thousands of workers. And I think this is in Canada, maybe. But the misclassification is not what you think. It comes from a workers' comp and tax position.
Okay.
So most companies and businesses would prefer to classify employees as contractors or less than what they really are because it costs them less money.
Yeah.
As I've told you before, the employee is the most expensive overhead operating expense of a business.
I thought you were going to say maybe they classify them as part-time even if they were full-time or whatever else.
I assume that given this day and age, the misclassification would have been related to
something else.
the parts, you know?
The meat and potatoes or lack thereof?
So if it's meat and potatoes, what's the other one? Mac and cheese?
Oh, sir.
Is it mac and cheese?
No.
Make that sound.
Stop. But I mean, yes, but stop.
You're still thinking about Martha Stewart. That's the problem.
I am. That's the problem. Because she makes some really good mac and cheese, according. Side note, if you have that kind of exhaust on your car, go ahead and burn your car to the ground.
If you buy an exhaust and it costs less than $1,000, don't buy it. Don't install it.
And don't put it on an automatic that makes it sound like that.
Don't put it on a Kia Forte. A Kia Forte does not need an exhaust. It's not,
Broski was like surfer hair with a backwards cap and really dirty car.
My first exhaust was terrible like that.
Also, don't put an exhaust in your car if you're not going to wash your car. Like, why would you want to draw attention to your dirty ass car?
You remember Ron used to only wash his exhaust? So Nike could be fined over $500,000 for this worker misclassification, and the company's handling an independent contractor dispute, class action lawsuit. Nike may be in trouble. Nike might be in trouble.
You got to think though, if Nike's doing it, what are the odds Adidas is also doing it, and Puma,
well,
and everybody else?
You draw attention to yourself, then you kind of maybe
it opens the door for the rest of them to be looked at. That's the problem too.
The big dog on top. Nike's on top.
Are they?
So, I think they are. So they're going to get the most attention. But the CEO of Nike, John Donahoe, says that brands need to stand by their values amid the Ron DeSantis Disney feud. That's
what he said?
Oh, yeah.
How is he bringing in?
He said that.
So his values are China-made sneakers and Canadian falsification of workers?
I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm just reading you the headline. That's what it says.
Weird values to have.
And it says that the Nike CEO, John Donahoe, sat down with CNBC during its inaugural CEO Council Summit in Santa Barbara, California, and weighed in on the role corporations play in political debates.
We've already lost a lot of people.
Why are corporations playing a role in political debates?
They shouldn't. Separation of church and state, which is not a thing that actually happens, and then it shouldn't be corporations that are part of anything, but the main people who run this country are not the president, it's the FDA,
it's the money.
Bureau of Land Management, the agricultural people, it's all of that.
When asked if he's worried about being labeled a woke corporation by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Donahoe said companies need to champion the values integral to their brands. The values integral to their brands. What values do you think would be integral to Nike's brand? A brand that began as a running shoe, moved on to get involved in this deal with basketball and Michael Jordan. What do you think would be integral to their brand?
I mean, their brand should be about fitness and things like that, but their shoes aren't about fitness. They're about don't crease these shits and pay a ton of money for them.
Actually, I can tell you what their values are because I actually have it pulled up here because I was intrigued after watching the movie.
Because the movie was really good.
The 10 principles of Nike.
I remember they had them up on the wall.
I think they really should have highlighted those more.
More, because they were actually really good ones, and I don't know if they still stand by that, though.
Our business is change. Which is very, very interesting. Our business has changed. Because
if you stay the way you were, you're stagnant and you lose and you don't grow.
Change is how the movie became a movie, okay? We're on offense all the time.
You don't want to be on defense because then you're losing immediately.
Perfect results count, not a perfect process. Break the rules, fight the law. This is as much about battle as about business. Interesting. Assume nothing. Make sure people keep their promises. Push yourself, push others, stretch the possible. I ain't gonna lie to you, I have not read these until now. Live off the land. Live off the land had a meaning in the movie, but
yes.
Live off the land is about to have a new meaning when I go a little bit further in these slides.
Okay.
Your job isn't done until the job is done.
I like that part though.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
Dangers, bureaucracy, personal ambition, energy takers versus energy givers. Knowing our weaknesses, don't get too many things on the platter. They should really listen to that one. They should really listen to that one.
Yeah.
It won't be pretty.
That's where they are now.
And if we do the right things, we'll make money damn near automatic. If
And
we do the right,
right
things, we'll make money damn near automatic.
But the right things doesn't necessarily mean the morally right things, the ethically right things. It means the right things that bring in revenue.
It says here that the sneaker boss pointed to racial and social justice, youth sports, and sustainability as Nike's most important values. All right. Okay. All right.
Pointed to what? Racial what?
Racial and social justice, youth sports, and sustainability as Nike's most important values.
Racial and social justice, I will believe. After watching the movie Air, I do fully believe that.
Look, I don't think Nike would allow that movie to come out and play and allow them to look any different.
Yeah.
Even if Nike had a different agenda back then,
that's true.
There's no way they would have allowed that to happen today.
That's true.
You got to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Okay.
That's true.
However, I'll let you read this one.
However, I do believe that how Viola Davis played Michael Jordan's mom. I do believe his mom was probably that woman that everybody would want to be part of her friendship.
Apparently, Michael Jordan wanted her to play that role, and that's how she was. That's
Viola
how they
Davis?
got her to play that role.
I freaking love her.
But
the movie The Help is one of my absolute favorite movies.
I'll let you read this one here.
This should be interesting. Is Nike preparing to unveil gender-inclusive kids' clothing for Pride? Internal memo reveals pioneering kids' one fit line is due to be unveiled. Let me really quickly. There are plenty of women out there who are pregnant, who have been pregnant and at some point or the other, and did not want to know the gender of their baby. So instead of going out and buying blue for boys or pink for girls, they went gender neutral and bought yellow and gray and green and white because they did not want to pick a gender and it be wrong. Like the sonogram can tell you one thing and then it pops out and you're like, excuse me, where the penis at? Or excuse me, thought there was gonna be a vagina there. Like things can go wrong. So you can say those two words.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say like.
She's like, you can say. She's like, you can say whatever you want on Kevin's channel. Ain't my channel.
Oh, there's that part too. So, there are plenty of gender inclusive things out there already. This T-shirt could technically be. This is a men's shirt, but I bought it because I like the back of it. It's like pink and blue and whatever. I could wear that shirt. That's a man's shirt, but I could wear it because of the color that it is. It doesn't really matter.
It's salmon. It's not pink.
Salmon, according to your brother.
I really appreciate your enthusiasm as this alleged email seen by the Daily Wire appears to reference a new clothing line. Nike is set to mark Pride Month with the launch of a gender-inclusive clothing line for children, according to an alleged email said to have been circulated with staff. An email shared internally says the Beaverton, Oregon-based company will spotlight the pioneering gender-inclusive kids one-fit apparel and unpack the conversation of trans inclusion in sport with a special screening of Changing the Game.
Now, this is two different things.
They're changing the game, folks.
This is two different things. Whew. Listen. Wait, what's that thing? What's that noise?
I don't know which one you just did.
I don't know what I just did either.
You like Mariah carried it.
What's the one that you do? You and Ron do? It's not that. That was way too deep. That was like Santa Claus. This is always higher pitched. Don't do it. There's people walking. You're just gonna look. You already looked up. So listen, no. So the gender inclusive clothing, I think kid fit, one fit apparel, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. The whole changing the game.
Changing the game.
Trans inclusion in sport.
Changing the game.
Here's my thing on my channel. You do you, boo. If you're not physically harming somebody else, live your life, enjoy your life.
Changing the game.
However,
changing the game.
Stop talking. As
Game Changers.
Actually, Game Changers is a thing on Netflix about vegan bodybuilders and weightlifters. It's a very, very good documentary. Anyway,
I saw Rich Piana today on a video.
Is his face still red and veiny and purple?
I think it was Rich.
He's the 5% or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Something 2.25 or something.
No. I don't know. Either way, his face always looks like he's holding his breath and about to pass out. He's purple.
He looks inflated.
He looks like Thanos, but like in life, a little less purple.
It looks.
He's a very unattractive man. He's a very unattractive man. Fellas, if that's your goal in life as a woman, don't do it. So listen, the whole changing the you moved it. The whole changing the game. I personally do not believe that transgender people should play in any sport that is not a transgender sport. I don't think men should be able to turn around and swim in women's sports. I don't think women should be able to go play men's basketball.
You know what? It's funny you say that because
Let me rephrase.
I hear you.
No. I have to stop this real quick. No. Transgender should not be able to do this. If you are a full-on female and you are good enough as a full-on born female without any drugs in your system to go play on the men's baseball team, do you, boo?
I hear you.
However, the ones who are taking all of these drugs and making these physical changes in order to play on these teams because it makes it easier for themselves, that's a hard pass.
I hear you. I'm going to reserve my comment until later on because I got some more slides
Whisper
here.
It.
Now,
Were you Rick Ross?
It says that it comes only 2 months after a controversial partnership. I gotta redact this, okay?
Oh, gosh. I have so much to say
that
here.
I can remain a member of the YouTube community.
Do I have to remain a member?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot to say
You
here.
can say what you want on Patreon, but you can't say it here. It comes only 2 months after a controversial partnership with face of Bud Light and its trans influencer, we'll say Billin Sylvani.
Mylan Dolvani.
Yes. Sparked backlash from women over the decision to give sponsorships for a woman's line to a transgender woman. One woman going so far as to burn her bra in protest of Nike's deal.
Ma'am, you're an idiot. Don't burn your bra. Those things are expensive.
It's like $60.
Your boobs still need to be
And
held in
inflation's
place.
high.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have. I mean, what are they? Okay, they're like, wow, she burned a $60 bra. We already have money for it.
She's like,
What
I
did you
couldn't
burn?
fit it anymore anyway, so.
But that's my problem. When people are like, oh, I shot up my Bud Light, Kid Rocky's like, I'm going to shoot it all up. They already have your money, broski. What did you just prove? You proved nothing except for you spent money and got nothing to drink for it. How is this? It's don't buy more that makes the statement. The getting rid of what you've already paid for, they're still winning.
So it's got a little screenshot here. It shows the email. In collaboration with Nike Kids
Did you
Design.
screenshot this underwater? What is this? I mean, I've had a mimosa, but man.
This is an official document here. In collaboration with Nike Kids Design, join the Pride Network as we spotlight the pioneering gender-inclusive Kids One Fit apparel and unpack the conversation of trans inclusion in sports with a special screening of Changing the Game. Following this screening, there will be a Pride panel discussion with Tanya Flynn, VP, Vice President, Nike Apparel Design, a producer of the film and one of the athletes featured in the film.
Here's my question. The way I read this is that the gender-inclusive Kids One Fit is one thing, and the transgender thing is another thing. I don't see them putting it as a kids transgender. I'm seeing it as two totally different things, and I'm okay with that. I do believe that kids should be allowed to dress how they want to dress. Hell, I dress how I want to dress. I have baggy shorts. I'll grab his shit out of the closet sometimes and put it on, and then I'll go put on some skimpy stuff. It depends on the day. It doesn't mean that I am masculine or feminine
Again,
or
I'm holding back.
transgendery
I'm
or
holding
whatever.
back what I want to say until we get later on. But it says that the new clothesline will
doesn't
be
wear my stuff,
in
don't worry.
collaboration with Nike Kids Design. It's not very supportive, not in the junk region. Earlier this
Really?
year, Nike announced its first ever gender-neutral athletic wear collection, including trainers and unisex clothing in a range of adult sizes.
See, adult, okay. So
Also,
that tells you right there.
Adidas has also released a Pride 2023 collection, which featured
Oh, yeah, the
male
guy.
presenting models in women's swimsuits, for which they received backlash and support from divided spectators.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Let me put it out here like this. As a man with some junk, meat and potatoes, if you will, and you want to put on a one-piece bathing suit, do what you want to do. As long as you leave one for me to wear, I don't care. But as a woman, I can't go put on a pair of men's trunks and walk around. All this out, I would immediately be arrested.
You know, it's funny you say that because I had this question yesterday. We were walking on the beach of Navarre. We're in Navarre.
Is that on Squirrel Tribe Life yet?
No, not yet, but it's there. If you want to see the beach walk videos, go check out Squirrel Tribe Life. And I was wondering, I was like, it hit me, but I didn't say it. I didn't ask the question because you would have been like, shut up. So I was just wondering, like,
I'll tell you to shut up.
if you're a trans person, right? You were born a man, now you're a woman, right? And you identify as a woman. and you go to a beach, I take that back. I'm sorry. You're born a woman. You identify as a man. You go to a beach.
Okay.
Can you just wear swim trunks?
If you've had breast removal, yes.
Why? What if you identify as a man? Because think about it. As a man identifying as a woman, you can use their bathrooms without any surgical modifications. So why can't you go to a beach, the same beach where people do not abide by the rules of not fishing and having fishing lines on the beach?
Today with
but like, why do you have to have surgery if you feel as though that you are a woman
do you
or
want
a man?
The answer? Do you want the answer?
I'm so confused, but you know what I'm saying.
I'll give you the answer. Here's why. In a bathroom, you're in an enclosed space where only other men should be in there, or only other women should be in there.
No, but if you change how you identify, others are going to be in there with you.
But you're fully clothed while you're in there.
Maybe not.
In theory,
dude, I see some men at the urinals. I'm like,
why are your pants around your ankles? All you gotta do is unzip.
Who taught you how to do this?
Or pull out the top of the elastic waistband. But anyway, even I know that, and I don't even have one. But here's the thing: on a beach, there's visual whatever, and it's still here in the United States.
There are some men who don't identify as women who have just as much of a memory situation going on. I'm just saying. So,
but here's the thing. Media has made it so that a woman's chest is a sexual thing as opposed to a child rearing thing, you know, the breastfeeding and the whatever else, as opposed to whatever.
Okay.
Media has made it so that a woman cannot walk around topless without it being deemed a sexual thing.
If a man transitions to become a woman and has augmentation done, can that man still walk on the beach with just swim trunks on because they're a man?
If there's nothing there?
No, they had the augmentation done. They did that.
Take it away?
No. Man became a woman. So they put
as long as they're in there, they have to put. They have to cover
that doesn't make any sense.
But if they are considering themselves a woman, they now have to live by the rules that they have applied to women.
Exactly. So if a woman identifies as a man,
doesn't matter who you identify as.
They should be able. You just said that.
I mean, physically, like you have the changes.
Look, they ain't got the money
else.
for the surgery. They're waiting on to get in.
Then you're still a man
in the OR.
A man will never be a woman.
I'm just saying.
Hate to break it to you.
We might as well get to a point where we just have topless beaches because that's the only way it's going to really, collectively,
Italy that has topless beaches?
But this is the progressive state in which this country is going towards.
You say progressive, but some people.
I say progressive for a particular reason.
I was about to say because there's
a side that goes progressive, right? And we're not on that side. But the simple fact of the matter. No, I'm just saying like in general. I have
blurred lines. I'm not gonna lie.
In general, you're not going to be. In general, I'm not going to be on that side. Okay. In general, most of the things that they come up with are asinine. They're completely ridiculous. Gavin Newsom's talking about doing away with all guns. Like this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Like I am not going to co-sign on that side. Okay.
But he looks like his favorite movie is probably 50 Shades of Grey.
But he would also still be the same one to have a collection of his own and not let anyone know he has them. But
he probably also sleeps with a pacifier.
But also quite possibly be the same victim of the same laws that he put in place that would protect people. Like. Come on, use your brain, use your head here, okay? However, we are quite possibly going to move into a situation where we become a country with topless beaches, not because of any other reason besides it makes these certain people feel accepted.
When do we become a country of bottomless beaches? Personally, I don't care about boobs. I have them. They're natural, whatever.
The key with the nude beaches is, or even the topless beaches, is like.
It's normally really old.
It's not the ones you want to see.
Like
it's not the ones you want to see
because they've been tanning way too long in life.
But either way, Target's on the list too. Target became one of the most notable stores when it launched a Pride collection, including tuck-friendly swimwear.
You know what I realize? The people who are the most upset about this are generally speaking white people because they've never been the non-included people. It's always been about white people.
I think if we move towards a day of nude beaches, it would further perpetuate this so that people could show off the surgeries that they had done.
There'd be a lot of ladies with some big old tatas running around.
I thought she was going to say some ladies with some big old...
Probably that too. You just never know. But seriously, think about it. The people who are most upset at the wokeness, that the inclusiveness, are generally white people. Yes, I'm a white person, but you have to look at it from the standpoint of we've always been included. It's never been an issue. We've always been part of it. But the second it came into let's end segregation and let black people have their time, it's, oh my God, no, I feel wronged here. And then it was, well, let gay people have their, ew, no, let the Hispanics, let the Asians, and now it's let the transgenders. And the people who are the most up in arms over it are the people who have never, ever in their life had to deal with being excluded from anything.
You know, I'm thinking about these Brazilian butt lifts and implants, and it's like.
Have you seen the video of the one where the lady that just flips? She can just sit there and flip it back and forth.
I'm just imagining, like when the women go into the operating room to become men, like how extreme they're going to go with the slongs that they.
Oh, it would touch my ankle.
They attach
all day long. If you're going to do it, go big or go home, dude.
But again,
I would like to rival Black Beauty, if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
But again, you know, you got to think back. During times of segregation, these are times in which people had no control over who they were, but the bathrooms were segregated. Mm-hmm. Now
Water
people
fountains,
have choices
schools,
and control
buses,
over who they say they are, and they immediately just kick in the door and walk into any bathroom that they want, and then we're supposed to accept that and agree with it.
Now, here's the thing. I know this isn't a Patreon video,
but if you're just jumping into this video, it's about Nike. I don't know how we got here, but we're going to connect back to Nike here in just a moment.
I'll connect to Nike real quick. If I'm in the bathroom with my daughter and a man walks in a skirt and decides that he wants to be a woman and use the bathroom, please understand my Nike, my size 8 Nike is going up your ass.
That has all the work done in a skirt, but
I wouldn't know.
But hasn't had great work done.
It doesn't matter. So there's some very masculine women to begin with.
You got a double standard here.
Well, no, because according to
they
this,
spent 30 grand, 40 grand on this elective surgery, and you're like, nah, you don't look right.
No,
so
I don't buy it. But according to this, if you identify as a woman, you could still be your personal self could walk in like this and go, nah, I identify as a chick. I don't want to use that bathroom. You walk in, please understand. Whether you are white, Asian, Hispanic, black, it don't matter. If you are a man walking into a bathroom where my child is, it's not going to end well for you.
We went to the Gulf, and the Gulf always perplexes me because they have like 6 bathrooms. They have they have 7 bathrooms.
FM.
Family. FM. But they're all separate. Like, why did we waste time putting letters on the doors when they're separate?
So that women felt safer?
But you're going to be the only one in there.
Fully understand.
But here's the deal.
But women don't want to use the bathroom that men have peed all over. We'd much rather clean off women's pee. Y'all who play hovercraft and pee everywhere and don't clean them after
apparently women's bathrooms ain't clean either.
Disgusting.
But
Absolutely
the crazy part about it is it's funny because we went to the gym at Grand Boulevard and I go in the bathroom and this is this lady standing there.
Yeah.
She's just standing there talking to the plumber. And I'm like, I go to the urinal and I'm just like, what's going on here?
Were you like,
but she's like, it's cool. I work here. I was like, okay.
Cool, my penis is still in my hand, but fine,
But that's
whatever.
the thing. It's like men's bathroom, women's bathroom.
Why did you still go to the urinal with her standing there?
Because I had to go to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom because I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but if she's still standing there and you still decided to whip it out and pee, that's on you, not her.
See, that's the thing. What are y'all expecting to see in the bathroom? Like, why does it matter which bathroom you go to? What are you expecting to see?
Any given Sunday, Cameron Diaz walked through the shower.
That's a locker room. That's a locker room. I'm talking about the bathroom. Like, what are y'all expecting to see in the bathroom? Like, that's the thing. What are you expecting to see in the bathroom? Just go.
Oh, all kinds of stuff. What happened at Lifetime in Atlanta?
It's like if I identified as a woman, that's a locker room. That's a locker room, and it was a sauna. Okay.
It's still.
I'm saying.
Still.
If I identify as a woman and I want to go to the bathroom, what are you expecting to see? What are you expecting to see? And what does it matter?
Oh yeah, because the second I walk into a bathroom door, I get completely butt naked before.
And what does it matter if the other women, like if you're a woman now, you're a woman. Like if I go in the bathroom, I'm not looking to see dudes. So it's like really, I mean, anyway, that's a whole nother video. As I realize what I'm saying, it's like wait, this is a whole nother.
You should be very careful how this one goes.
So, but
you think it's me you got to worry about.
But it says that earlier in June, it was reported that the company had lost. This is Target. $12 billion in market value since mid-May, with a former Target executive saying that the campaign was its biggest mistake. Lost $12 billion in market. And now Nike is telling furious customers, be kind, be inclusive, as it responds to backlash over paying trans influencer Millen Delaney to provide sports bras as customers pledged to boycott the brand.
Here's the problem. Let me explain what the problem is. You took Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch.
No, I didn't. They did.
They did. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light took a clearly man who calls himself a woman. Has not had surgery here, has not had surgery there. Literally just grew his hair out and threw on some not very well done makeup, in my opinion, and some whatever else, and called himself a woman. That is shitting on all women out there who actually take pride in their appearance and want to be. I'm just saying.
I hear you. So now I'm kind of curious.
If it had been an attractive female.
You took this dude that did a little bit of work, but what does it really take to be, initiated into this club?
A uterus.
I'm not gonna go any further.
You don't need to.
I'm gonna save this for Patreon, but I have this thought in my mind of the initiation process required to say, "Oh, you want to be a woman now?
Gut you.
Take that." So anyway, Nike has pledged $600,000 to the LGBTQ groups, and on July 11, staff are given the opportunity to join the Human Rights Campaign, Portland Community Football Club's Kaig Leitner, and OHSU Trans Health Program's Dr. Blair Peters for a panel and Q&A to discuss policies impacting the transgender community.
Quick. Isn't Portland the one where literally everything is closing down in Portland and the whole city is turning into just like this little trash heap?
You think that Walmart pulled out of Portland because of crime and theft. They're like, nah, bruh.
No, we're pulling out for something else. At least they pulled out.
Dr. Blair Peters. It's funny because you're going to have...
Is Dr. Blair Peters a man or a woman?
You're going to have biologically born women saying, yeah, my pullout game is strong. That's going to be a thing.
How do you even
It's going to be a thing. It's some AI. Chat GPT. Dr. Blair Peters
I think of those little bags that you put the icing in before you go on the
Remember
cake.
how Spider-Man had... It's like, depending on what Spider-Man movie you watched, was how he shot the web.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
So Dr. Blair Peters also received backlash last year for a since-deleted tweet remarking on having performed mastectomies for 3 young children and adolescents in a day.
Please notice they don't say if that's a man or a woman.
It doesn't matter.
I'm curious.
No, it doesn't matter. You are a doctor. You're a doctor and you're performing mastectomies on 3 young adults and adolescents in a day. There has to be some line drawn on profit over people to say, I'm a doctor, so I can legally do this, I can make this happen. I'm not going to do this. I am not going to turn my license and my practice into an episode of Nip Tuck. That
was a really good show, though.
This is ridiculous. Now, the surgeon claimed at the time all had supportive parents present, and you could see the family relief the second we wheeled back to the OR. No, that was not relief. That was a different emotion of, we got somebody to do it, versus this is ridiculous, it shouldn't be done. It's not relief. It was, oh wow, we actually it's like when you got the fake ID and you actually get into the club, you're like, yo, it worked.
That didn't work. My mom caught mine. I never got to use it.
Gender affirming care is living giving. For some, it is life saving, they said. They said. Who's they? Why is Dr. Blair Peters they? Now I'm really concerned. Now we're gonna have these colleges and universities and med schools specifically targeting people.
Well, Blair Underwood is a man, right? Is a black actor?
None of this matters. Blair Peters,
it could be a man that's doing it. So then my brain is going, maybe it's a woman and she's giving all these people vasectomies because she has something against men for something that happened to her in her past. Then I'm thinking, no, it's a man and he has something against these because he was beat up by men as a child.
But now I got to hit you with the old Matt Walsh. What is a woman?
Somebody who was born with a uterus. Somebody who was born with testicles.
Well, guys, it was a pleasure being with you here on YouTube. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on this platform.
Especially if you bring me in and let me just run my mouth.
I don't think that one lady lives here anymore. Remember?
What one lady?
She walked all the time.
The really pretty one.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I would describe her.
That is how you would describe her if I wasn't your wife.
That would go over real well. That would go over real well.
The really pretty one with dark hair.
I remember I sat in the Jeep. I sat right there in the Jeep and I recorded a video.
Oh yeah, and you panned the camera over to watch the girl's butt.
Somebody said, "You're doing God's work."
Well, because I mean, you're recording this way, and a chick walks by, and you do this to get the butt, and you come back, and it's like, bruh, really? Like,
I don't
if you had
recall.
done that more than one time in the video, it wouldn't have been as noticeable.
I don't
as the
recall.
One time.
I don't recall. It was like a 45-minute video, and like 30 minutes in, it happened. Like, how did you find this? Like, but anyway, gender affirming care is living giving. For some, it's life saving. They said that's what they said. I don't know who they is or are, but I think you like the women walking through our neighborhood more than I like the women walking through our neighborhood.
I like looking at their outfits
Because you're like, that's the hot one.
Well, yeah, I like the top. I'm sitting going, I like
That's
the
the hot
top.
one that works there, and that's that one with
Well,
the tattoos.
it makes me want to go take my fat ass back to the gym every time I see these little 20-something-year-olds walking by.
I don't think they're 20-something.
Bruh.
She might be 20-something.
Exactly.
But the one with the red hair, she ain't 20-something.
No, she's not.
So the Nike email also referred to Nike's inaugural Pride Community Fair. The event on July 13 will spotlight local queer, women, and minority-owned businesses.
That's a weird way to clump that in together.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Why is minority-owned businesses being lumped
I'm
in
not quite sure.
And then why are women-owned businesses being anyway, queer, women, and minority-owned I'm reading this for the first time with her too. And include Activisions like Taco About It, and a family-friendly drag story time. Now,
When is drag?
this is still Nike.
Now,
okay?
Now, listen, I have to do
family-friendly drag story time.
No, I have to say this. Family-friendly drag story time. I don't see anything wrong with the, think about it. Before they allowed women to act, every single thing written by Shakespeare and everybody else was performed by men. Every single female role was performed by a man.
I hear you. But before we had refrigerators, we ate meat with maggots on it and just put more salt on it. Like, we've evolved since then, okay?
Yes, but the best Dolly
We've evolved
Parton
since then.
is, generally speaking, the drag Dolly Parton.
Before we had toilet paper,
Close
we
second.
just didn't shake hands. I'm just
Have you
saying.
seen that movie, Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar? Patrick Swayze, John Leguizamo, Wesley Snipes, all three
you
in
say
drag.
Wesley?
Wesley.
You say
I
Wesley?
did it on purpose to see if you'd look at me. Because the guy in Carrie, what's his name? Carrie, what's his face? Eloise, and The Princess Bride, he went by Wesley instead of Wesley.
So while Oregon leans Democratic, it has seen conflict in the past over drag readings. And in October last year, a drag queen story event led to violent clashes outside of a bar.
Did you hear what happened? You know how Tennessee banned drag, basically? There was a group that performed, like a headlining band, probably something like in the era of Kiss and Eagles and whatever else, like that kind of age group. And one of the guitarists came out in a full-on dress because you're not allowed to go to drag shows anymore. He wanted to like stand solid with them and wore a dress on stage. And my brain's going, you just wanted to wear a dress. It's very freeing sometimes.
I think wearing a dress is one thing, but like wearing wigs and makeup, I don't know.
I feel like that one's a little bit different.
So here we go.
But everything from the 90s, Fall Out Boy,
I'll let you read.
Anthony Kiedis, even from Red Hot Chili Peppers, eyeliner, all kinds of stuff. Prince, one of the best performers of all time, and the blouses.
I'll let you read this one. I'll let you read this. Remember, Millen
Delvaney. Okay. Nike women have hired Millen Delvaney to be the new face of their women's bra and sports bra. So you're going to tell me that the person with the chest of a 12-year-old boy is going to be the women's bra and sports bra range?
You said previously when we were in this video that it's okay because Bud Light and Target chose to specifically pick someone that, you know.
No, I said that was the problem. They chose somebody who's not at all feminine.
But Nike's doing the same thing.
Well, Nike can.
Now Nike's doing the same thing.
Nike.
Now this is going to be the new face of their women's bra and sports bra range. Just put the women's bra and sports bra range. I'm just saying.
Wait, here's the problem. If they had picked a transgender person who actually looked female, nobody would know, and there would not be all these talks. Their name would not be mentioned nearly as many times. They would not be headlining all these articles. It would not be such a massive uproar.
So you think that Nike's doing what they're doing intentionally because they know it's wrong? Because they know it's wrong?
You think they're going to pick them after what happened with Bud Light? Yes. Yes, I do.
A brand would likely pay someone like Millen, who has 1.7 million followers and a huge media attention around $50,000 to $100,000 for this.
Why doesn't Nike pay a real woman
to promote a product that is solely for women?
Well, it's not solely for women.
It's not a product. It's
there
solely for women.
are very hefty men out there who will wear a woman's sports bra in order to hold their chest in place while they work out.
Now, that was a post on Twitter by Oli London, and then this one is Ada Luch.
I really used to enjoy Nike as a brand, but I will never wear another shoe from them after they feature Mylan Mulvaney as their new ambassador for women's clothing. I mean, it is a massive shit on women in general.
So now, Justin, if you've watched this video this long, are you still going to buy those foam posits? Are you still going to buy those Jordan 13 breads? I'm not getting rid of my Nike. I'm not getting rid of my Nikes.
Stuff.
I'm not getting rid of my Nikes.
But we're not going new.
I'm not getting rid of my Nikes. And will I not buy Nikes in the future? Odds are I'll probably buy Nikes in the future. Like, I've tried Adidas NMDs. They're cool, but they're not very comfortable.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like Skechers, but they just ain't my jam. And Reebok, I'm not going that route. Under Armour, I've never given it a shot. So...
This is Under Armour?
No, as far as footwear goes. Okay. Nike has the game cornered. And, is this going to stop me from buying free runs? Probably not. Is this going to stop me from buying Air Maxes and Jordans? Probably not.
I'm just trying to figure out why we're just walking in circles. It's not like a workout walking. We're wearing sandals. That is all. I'm distracted. You thirst trapping in sandals.
She got you. She got you.
I looked.
So Montana, last month, became the first state to specifically ban people dressed in drag from reading books to children at public schools and libraries.
Okay, so then you're telling me that
position.
Mrs. Doubtfire, if Mrs. Doubtfire had shown up to read a book, it would have been a problem.
In the state of Montana.
And so if somebody dressed as Mother Goose, it would have been a problem.
In Montana.
Why do we allow it in movies but have a problem with it in life?
Well, that was the question I posed to you yesterday about these traumatic experiences out in public for TikTok and Vine and Reels and telling stories and teaching kids, if your dad ever gets, killed in the streets.
Oh, yeah, I did have a huge issue with that.
But if it was a movie, we're still traumatizing the young actors by portraying these scenes.
That's true.
Now...
So... Elliot Page used to be Ellen Page, maybe? What was her name before she was a he? I don't know how I'm supposed to say this now. Is. So, was in the movie Juno. Absolutely loved. Was in Inception. The girl in Inception.
Huh.
The girl in Inception.
The architect.
Is now a man. She had the removal. They had the removal done, cut off the hair, super masculine, was on some magazine as the first shirtless, transgender, whatever, living their best life now as Elliot Page. And it's like, is it because of the spotlight you were in and the roles that you played that effed up your head, or what?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. Now, Republican Governor Greg Gianforte, signed the bill because he believes it's widely inappropriate for little kids, especially preschoolers and kids in elementary school, to be exposed to sexualized content.
Here's my question. As adults, we are the ones who are sexualizing it. Children don't understand that a man who puts on a Mother Goose outfit is anything other than Mother Goose. It's adults that are sexualizing it and having the issue with it.
Yeah, you got a point there. Santa Claus at the mall ain't Santa Claus.
Easter Bunny could be a man or a woman in that. You would never know.
Meanwhile, the law is unique among efforts by states to block drag performances, as it does not require a sexual element to a performance for it to be banned.
Most drag is not sexual. It's just men dressed up as women like Cher and Dolly Parton and whatever else, singing most of it. There are ones that are explicitly sexual, and it tells you that before you go in. They are in 21 and up clubs. not all drag is considered sexual. It's the adults who are looking at it that way and labeling it that way.
No, they do because I was sitting in the car making a video about the possible income opportunities tied to Web3 and sharing your personal health data, which is already being shared without you monetizing it. Mm-hmm. And in this 45-minute video explaining this, I said, I'm sitting outside of a Brazilian wax waiting for you to get done. Mm-hmm. That was it. In like 45 minutes.
And that's the name of the place. I could have been getting my eyebrows done.
Someone sexualized that.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you'd put your wife's business out there like that.
They sexualized that.
But the name of the location is Brazilian Wax by Andrea. I could have been doing my legs, my eyebrows, my underarms, literally anything.
We recorded a video on the boat on the beach, and somebody sexualized that.
They're like, oh my God, I'm so tired of seeing your wife's butt. I don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen my butt. You've seen me in a bathing suit, and you've seen me walking in shorts. But do you not leave your house because of the fear of your eyes
there were
seeing
other
somebody else?
women in the video.
There
on
was
the
a
beach.
shirtless man. You didn't have a problem with that one.
To each their own. Now, the status of trans women in sports has proven a point of contention in recent months.
I like how you got all quiet when you go back to reading. You're like,
and at the end of May, Caitlyn Jenner spoke. Caitlyn Jenner spoke out after a trans woman made headlines for taking second place in a 1,600-meter race.
Caitlyn Jenner doesn't have room to say a damn thing.
The former, I'll tell you what, I'll let you read it.
The former Olympic decathlete wrote on Twitter, as somewhat of a track star myself and a trans person, this is wrong. You know what? F off. You have no space to say anything.
But they're agreeing with you.
No.
They're agreeing with you.
They're still somebody who calls themselves a woman, even though they have no uterus.
They're agreeing with you, saying that, this isn't right.
That's true.
Even though I'm an Olympic gold medalist that is now changed, this isn't like they're saying. That's what they're saying.
I still don't want to listen to anything Caitlyn Jenner has to say, which is funny. A lot of people crapping on the whole trans thing forget to bring that one up. You had no problem with Caitlyn Jenner because she's a Republican trans? Is it when they're Democratic trans that there's an issue?
Ooh.
She's a Republican trans. I never hear anybody bringing her up.
She shared a link to her political action committee, Fairness First, which declares its aim to be to keep boys out of women's sports. After the race, Riley Gaines also called for female athletes to boycott events and give governing bodies a big thumbs down after Johnson missed out on third place. Gaines has become one of the louder voices arguing against the inclusion of trans athletes in women's sports, rightfully so, having to undress in front of men in the locker room. While also competing against them for titles that they should never have to compete against. Mm-hmm. Last year, she tied for 5th place against trans swimmer Leah Thompson at the NCAA championship. And this all leads to the conclusion that Nike's stock cut to sell as U.S. business faces challenges. Kind of hard to believe, right? Like, who would think that Nike would experience challenges in their stock price and shareholder valuations?
Well, I mean, you have to think about it. Their main group of people are black males. Their main group for Nike is black males.
But investors,
Air Jordan,
investors
and
are
like
probably not.
Okay.
Consumers, customer base, target market, maybe.
Yes, but when you alienate 90% of your target market to bring in a 10%, your stockholders and your investors are going to be like, hey, you're effing up over here. We can't be part of this. You're throwing our money away. So when you say to your audience, your consumers, hey, listen, we know that for the past however long, we have aimed everything at black men with these Air Jordans, these $500, $300, $200 sneakers, whatever else. But now we want to aim over here at women and men who are confused with their sexuality. Black men no longer want to be associated with this unless they also happen to be confused with their sexuality, but they don't want to be part of that anymore. So now it's, well, instead of...
And really, I think Nike needs to start making high heels.
Bro. They have that one pair.
Nike's got to start making high heels. They're going to try to target that market.
No, they have those sneakers that have the lift in the back. I love those things.
So Nike stock dragged on the Dow Jones Industrial.
Get it?
The downgrade follows a tough week for fast-moving footwear stocks, which stumbled over last week's string of weaker-than-expected sales forecasts during earnings. Look, Nike, do what you do. Target, do what you do. Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, do what you do. Adidas, do what you do. Just realize the market is always right. The market is always right.
I'm sure that's where you want to end, but I have a question. Because that was a very good end.
I'll do it again.
Okay, so here's my question. Mainstream media is what is pushing this transgender thing, which then makes corporations go, oh, if this is what makes it into the news, this is what makes it into the TV shows, this is what makes it into the movies and into the whatever else, then this is the way we need to go. Knowing good and damn well that just because mainstream media is pushing it does not mean that that's what the actual people want or want to see or want to be part of. All it's doing is ensuring that these name brands, these big brands who are purchasing from China are about to get shut down.
Well, you got to think about it. So we covered that story about CNN going a direction that they normally wouldn't go with Trump. Why?
Somebody who just got fired from CNN.
Chasing views and chasing revenue, chasing
headlines, basically.
money, chasing ratings, okay?
Yes.
So, but then we also need to consider what it has been known in business by anybody who took any business courses in college. You'll know that businesses oftentimes have what's called a loss leader. And the loss leader is what gets people in the door.
Groceries,
the loss
food
leader
at Walmart.
doesn't make them money, but it gets you in the door for them to upsell you on something else. And we are quite possibly seeing the new business model of acceptance and implementation of this new loss leader being the spark, the debate, the backlash, the negative publicity behind this to get their name out there to potentially then upsell you on something else. But the market is always right. See, I told you I'd do it again.